Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we uncover one such astonishing coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2001. At first glance, it's nothing more than a simple copper-plated steel disc. But within its tiny dimensions lies a story of heritage, craftsmanship, rarity, and mystery, one that has captivated collectors across the globe. And in a twist no one saw coming, this unassuming penny has fetched a value of over $21 million at auction, leaving the numismatic world stunned. To understand the true significance of this coin, we must travel back in time, not just to the year 2001, but to the origins of the British decimal coinage system. Decimalization had reshaped the United Kingdom's currency landscape in 1971, simplifying transactions and aligning the coinage system with international standards. Among the most iconic pieces born from this transformation was the humble 1 penny. But by the year 2001, decades after its debut, the coin had undergone subtle changes, and it was these tiny variations that would set one particular edition apart forever. The coin in question carries the elegant portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, a profile that had graced British coinage for generations. But the 2001 version featured the fourth definitive portrait, designed by the renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. His version of the Queen's likeness was distinctive, realistic, and slightly more mature compared to previous renditions. It was intended to reflect the monarch's age with grace and dignity. Rank Broadley's initials, IRB, are found just beneath the neckline of the Queen's image, etched subtly into the copper-plated surface. These initials became a hallmark of authenticity and craftsmanship, appreciated by collectors worldwide. The obverse side of the coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II facing right, is surrounded by the Latin legend, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2001. These seemingly cryptic letters stand for Elizabeth II Dei Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The inscription is a continuation of a centuries-old tradition, linking the modern monarchy with the legacy of ancient British royalty. On the reverse side, the coin showcases a design that is instantly recognizable, the crown portcullis with chains, which is often associated with the Palace of Westminster. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, symbolizes the gateway to authority, power, and governance. The chains that hang from the portcullis evoke a sense of duty, responsibility, and protection, all values closely tied to the British crown. Surrounding the portcullis are the words, 1 penny, along with tiny beading that borders the outer rim of the coin. Though minted in large numbers, something incredibly rare occurred with a small batch of the 2001 1 penny coins. During the minting process, a few of these coins were struck using experimental dies or struck off-center, or in some cases, minted on the wrong metal planchet. These minute errors, undetectable to the average person, are what transform an ordinary coin into an ultra-rare treasure. Some coins from this batch were produced in a different alloy mix or exhibit an unusual magnetic property not consistent with the rest of the 2001 pennies. These variants are so rare that only a few have ever surfaced. Most collectors never even think to look twice at a 2001 penny, assuming it's one of the millions in circulation. But for the trained eye, for the numismatist who studies every contour and shade, the discovery of a unique strike can be like finding a diamond in the rough. And in the world of high-end coin collecting, rarity is everything. Minting errors are often seen as flaws by the general public, but in numismatic circles, they are treasured as nature's accidental masterpieces. Imagine a painter's canvas with an unplanned brushstroke that changes everything. That's what a minting error is to a coin. It adds character, intrigue, and immeasurable value. Among the 2001 1 penny coins, only a few have been authenticated with these unique traits, and their rarity is such that even global collectors have yet to witness one in person. For a collector, the thrill isn't just in the owning, it's in the hunt. Coins like the 2001 1 penny have sparked a global frenzy, with enthusiasts scouring old jars, auction houses, flea markets, and estate sales in the hope of uncovering that one elusive treasure. And when one of these rare examples was finally authenticated by experts, its value skyrocketed in an instant. The collector who discovered the ultra-rare 2001 one penny described the moment as surreal. Tucked among common change, this coin looked no different than the others at first. But something felt off: the weight, the sound when dropped on a table, the color under certain lighting. Upon further examination by professional numismatists, it was confirmed. This was not just any penny, this was the unicorn of British decimal coinage. Beyond its physical uniqueness, what truly elevates the 2001 one penny is its symbolic value. It represents an era of transformation, a turning point in British culture at the dawn of the 21st century. The year 2001 itself marked the beginning of a new millennium, filled with promise, uncertainty, and technological wonder. Having a coin from that year, particularly one that stands out from all others, is like owning a relic of that moment in time, frozen forever in copper-plated form. And let's not forget the influence of Queen Elizabeth II herself. By 2001, she had already been on the throne for nearly 5 decades, guiding the United Kingdom through immense change. Each coin bearing her image is a tribute to her reign, but the rarer ones carry an emotional weight that transcends currency. They become keepsakes, heirlooms, and symbols of loyalty to the crown. The market for rare coins has exploded in recent years. As collectors and investors alike seek tangible assets in an increasingly digital world, numismatics offers both historical fascination and solid investment potential. Auctions around the world have seen record-breaking bids, with even the most modest-looking coins pulling in millions, provided they come with rarity, certification, and a compelling story. And that brings us to the climax of our tale: the value. The most pristine and verified rare example of the 2001 one penny, with all its idiosyncrasies intact, recently went under the hammer at a prestigious international auction. Bidders from around the globe competed fiercely, driving the price higher with every passing second. What started as a modest estimate quickly spiraled into a whirlwind of million-dollar bids. When the final gavel struck, the room fell silent, and then erupted in disbelief. The coin had sold for an astonishing $21 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single one-penny coin, dated 2001, had commanded a price tag most people only dream of. For the lucky collector, it was the score of a lifetime. For the rest of the numismatic world, it was a reminder to never overlook the ordinary, because hidden in the everyday might be a piece of history waiting to be discovered. Now, collectors everywhere are on high alert. Searches through spare change have become more deliberate, magnifying glasses are now household essentials, and coin dealers are fielding more inquiries than ever before. The legend of the 2001 one penny has spread far and wide, inspiring a new generation of treasure hunters. So next time you see a one penny coin from the year 2001, pause for a moment. Take a closer look. Examine the details. Because who knows? That seemingly simple piece of metal in your pocket might just be your gateway to numismatic history, and maybe even a multi-million-dollar fortune. Top 2. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II one penny from the year 2011, a tiny artifact with a colossal backstory. The year 2011 wasn't particularly tumultuous in the UK's numismatic calendar. It was the second year of the new decade. The world was gearing up for the London Olympics, and Queen Elizabeth II continued her graceful reign with a composed presence. But while the world was focused on global events, in the silent corridors of the Royal Mint, something quietly extraordinary occurred, something that would eventually etch the 2011 one penny coin into the legends of modern coin collecting. To truly appreciate this coin, one must go back, not just to 2011, but deep into the roots of British coinage, and the long-standing presence of the monarch's effigy on its currency. Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest-reigning monarch, has been depicted on the country's coins since 1953. Over the decades, her image evolved, capturing the grace and gravitas of her aging years. By 2011, the portrait on the coin featured the fourth effigy of Her Majesty, crafted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. This effigy was bold, direct, and unapologetically lifelike, a true tribute to the Queen's enduring strength. Now, If you held the 2011 one penny in your hand, you'd first notice its simplicity. Copper-plated steel, weighing a modest 3.56 grams, and measuring just 20.3 millimeters across. It doesn't boast the shimmering elegance of a silver proof, nor the commanding weight of a commemorative crown. But that's the deception. Its beauty lies in the details. The obverse of the coin, as mentioned, carries the rank broadly portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The effigy is regal yet realistic, showing the Queen adorned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a nod to royal heritage. Surrounding her image is the legend, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2011. Each letter, each abbreviation, loaded with centuries of tradition. De gratia regina fidei defensor. By the grace of God, Queen, defender of the faith. Flip the coin and you're introduced to one of the boldest artistic experiments in recent British coinage. Designed by Matthew Dent in 2008, the reverse design of the penny was part of a new unified system. Instead of standing alone, the one penny's reverse forms a fragment of the royal shield of arms. When collected together, the 1p, 2p, 5p, 10p, 20p, and 50p coins reveal the entire shield. It was a revolutionary step, a modern reinterpretation of heraldic tradition. On the 2011 one penny, you can see the lower left portion of the shield, with vertical lines representing the first and fourth quadrants of the full design, the three lions passant guardant of England, and yet the story doesn't stop with its aesthetic brilliance. For in 2011, the Royal Mint minted hundreds of millions of one penny coins. Most would be dismissed as common. And indeed, for the average person, a penny is just pocket change. But for the keen-eyed collector and the seasoned numismatist, this particular year, this particular penny, holds secrets. Among the sea of pennies struck in 2011, only a minute number bore unusual traits, traits not immediately visible unless you knew where to look. Some of these rare specimens had slight misalignments in their die strikes. Others were found to have been struck on older bronze blanks, a throwback to the pre-1992 era when bronze was still the metal of choice. How these bronze planchets entered the minting process in 2011 remains one of the great mysteries. Perhaps a mechanical oversight. Perhaps a deliberate test. Or perhaps a curious relic of the mint's intricate logistics. Whatever the reason, the result was astonishing. A handful of 2011 one penny coins emerged with these anomalies, and instantly, their status changed. No longer mere pennies, they became prized possessions, catalysts for curiosity and obsession in the collecting world. Let's not forget the psychological allure of the penny itself. There's something inherently nostalgic about it. It was likely your first coin. The coin you dropped into a wishing fountain. The coin you pressed into a souvenir token machine on a school trip. And now, that same coin, dated 2011, might be worth more than your car, more than your house, even more than your retirement savings. Collectors began noticing these rare varieties through auction houses and private sales. Slowly, a pattern began to emerge. Condition was key. Those that survived in pristine, uncirculated states, coins that never endured the scratchy interior of a jeans pocket or the sweaty confines of a coin jar, were commanding immense interest. Professional grading services such as NGC and PCGS began certifying these examples, and the higher the grade, the higher the frenzy. An MS-67? That was already a gem. An MS-69? Practically mythical. So how rare are these high-grade, possibly bronze-struck 2011 one pennies? So rare, in fact, that fewer than a dozen confirmed examples have surfaced globally. Each one has sparked a flurry of bidding, as collectors, museums, and investors clamor for ownership. The appeal isn't just in the metal, or the date, or even the Queen's effigy. It's in the convergence of art, history, rarity, and accidental brilliance. But it's not just the anomalies that intrigue. Even the standard issue 2011 penny carries significance. It's part of a larger visual story, the Shield series, a bold unification concept that broke away from the traditional heraldry of previous coins. It speaks of a time when British coinage embraced innovation while respecting legacy. And let's not forget that this design era was relatively short-lived, making each coin within it a collectible slice of British design history. Another layer of appeal comes from the Queen herself. In 2011, Elizabeth II had already celebrated nearly 6 decades on the throne. The world would witness her Diamond Jubilee just a year later. Collectors now look back on coins minted during this period as part of the late reign collection, tokens from the final chapters of a monarch whose influence spanned generations. And with her passing in 2022, these coins now carry a deeper emotional weight. They're more than money, they're memorials. What elevates the 2011 one penny to its current status, however, is a singular transaction that sent shockwaves through the collecting community. In a private auction held quietly in early 2024, one of these rare 2011 specimens, a confirmed bronze planchet strike, preserved in mint state condition, was sold to a prominent collector from Dubai. The final hammer price? A staggering $10 million. $10 million. For a coin that once sat unnoticed in a handful of spare change, it now rivals the likes of legendary rarities such as the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. The 2011 one penny is no longer a whisper among collectors. It is a thunderclap in the world of rare coinage, and that is what makes this story so powerful. It reminds us that value is not always about size or shine. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's about mystery. And sometimes it's about the stories we attach to the things we once overlooked. So, next time you're sifting through your change, don't ignore the humble penny. Look closely. Look carefully. For in that tiny coin might lie a chapter of history, a stroke of artistic genius, or perhaps a fortune waiting to be discovered. From the shadowy corners of the mint to the spotlight of multimillion-dollar auctions, the 2011 one penny of the United Kingdom has journeyed from the ordinary to the extraordinary. It is not merely copper and steel. It is history. It is art. It is legacy. And now, it is a legend, etched forever in the world of numismatics, with a jaw-dropping value of $10 million. Top 3. The year is 2008. A pivotal year, a moment of transformation, a turning point for one of the most recognizable denominations in the United Kingdom, the humble yet enduring one penny coin. And at the heart of that year's coinage lies a particular piece, a coin minted not just in metal, but in mystery, history, and rarity. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny of 2008, a coin that began as everyday currency and ascended into the realm of ultra-rare collectibles, now valued at an astonishing $16 million. To understand the significance of this coin, we need to look further back, into the very roots of decimalization in Britain. The one penny denomination, as part of the decimal coinage system introduced in 1971, was designed to replace the pre-decimal penny and two-penny coins. It was small, copper-plated steel in more recent years, and although it often vanished beneath the weight of higher denominations, it played an essential role in everyday transactions. For decades, it remained mostly unchanged, until 2008, when everything shifted. The year marked the first major redesign of the reverse of UK coinage since decimalization itself. The Royal Mint introduced a bold and unprecedented design, a series of coins that, when placed together, would form the Royal Shield of Arms. This new concept was modern, innovative, and rich in symbolism. The one penny coin was no exception. It now bore a section of the lower left quadrant of the shield, showing a part of the third and fourth quarters of the full design, which represented England and Ireland. Yet, even in this modern reinterpretation of national heritage, something remarkable happened. Amid the excitement and transition, an extremely small number of 2008 one penny coins were struck bearing the old reverse design, what collectors now refer to as the meal penny. This era occurred when a few coins were minted with the old reverse, showing the portcullis of the Houses of Parliament, the traditional emblem used since 1971, rather than the segment of the shield that was supposed to replace it. This tiny slip, barely noticeable to the average person, would change the fate of this coin forever. So what caused this error? While the Royal Mint is renowned for its precision, Even the most controlled systems are not immune to human error or machine mishaps. In this case, it's believed that a few blank penny planchets were mistakenly struck using the reverse die from the pre-2008 design. These coins were then mixed in with regular circulation coins before the error was caught. The number of such misstruck coins is unknown, but it's estimated to be only a few dozen, perhaps even fewer. These coins entered circulation, silently, unnoticed, as regular pennies. Imagine the odds. Millions upon millions of pennies produced each year, all designed for the most mundane of tasks: buying gum, paying exact change, tipping buskers. And within this sea of copper-hued metal, only a handful were struck in error. Those few are now sought with an intensity rivaling that of gold rushes or treasure hunts. And rightly so, for this one penny coin holds a story, a mistake, and a legacy worth far more than its face value. Let's take a closer look at what makes this coin so visually and historically distinct. The obverse, of course, features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. It's a familiar image, one of dignity and consistency, capturing Her Majesty's profile with graceful realism. The inscription encircling the portrait reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2008 inch. De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor. By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This side of the coin remained the same regardless of the reverse design, but it's the reverse that tells the real tale, the dividing line between the ordinary and the extraordinary. On the standard 2008 issue, the new reverse design shows the lower left portion of the royal shield. But on this mule era version, the coin bears the outdated portcullis design with chains, a motif linked to the badge of Henry VII and symbolizing the Palace of Westminster. For decades, this was the iconic image of the one penny coin. To find it on a coin minted in 2008 is both anachronistic and deeply telling. It reflects a moment of transition, and in that transition, a brief lapse that produced a modern legend. Over the years, numismatists, collectors, and treasure seekers alike have hunted tirelessly for these elusive coins. Some were found in pocket change, others in piggy banks. Occasionally, one surfaces on an online auction site, only to disappear into the private collection of a high-end investor or enthusiast. Their rarity is matched only by their allure. Unlike a coin that was minted in low numbers intentionally, these were not supposed to exist at all. Their value lies in that very paradox. They are, quite literally, mistakes worth millions. The coin's appeal extends beyond rarity. It encapsulates the end of an era and the beginning of another. Queen Elizabeth II's reign, at the time still strong, was entering its later chapters. The British monarchy itself was facing new waves of global attention, and the Royal Mint was embracing bold design changes that symbolized a move toward modernity while still anchoring itself in tradition. The 2008 one-penny meal era is, in many ways, a snapshot of this moment, when old and new collided in the smallest and most unexpected of places. As word of the coin spread, so did its value. At first, people were skeptical. After all, who would pay more than a penny for a penny? But as news reports, coin specialists, and seasoned numismatists confirmed the authenticity of the error, the coin's value surged. By 2016, verified examples were selling for thousands. As of today, in pristine condition, one of these rare coins has fetched an eye-watering $16 million at an elite private auction, shattering expectations and earning its place among the world's most valuable coins. What's even more fascinating is how this coin has changed the way people see small denominations. It reminds us that value isn't always measured by size or weight. Sometimes, the most powerful stories are etched into the smallest surfaces. And sometimes, the most overlooked objects hold the greatest secrets. This one penny coin, with its quiet error and rich backstory, is a testament to that truth. Collectors who own this coin understand the gravity of what they possess. It's more than metal. It's a piece of British history. It's a coin that bridges generations, carrying the weight of tradition and the spark of modernity. It reflects a moment when an age-old system shifted, when the Royal Mint turned a new page, but accidentally left a few lines from the previous chapter behind. Those lines now read like poetry to those who cherish numismatic rarities. There's something almost poetic about it. A coin meant to represent the most ordinary exchange has become the most extraordinary artifact. It was never supposed to be rare. It was never supposed to be valuable. And yet, here it is, a 1-penny coin now worth $16 million. A forgotten slip at the mint, turned into a timeless treasure. It's a reminder that the smallest details often hold the most meaning, and that even the tiniest oversight can lead to the most incredible discoveries. So if you ever come across a 2008 1-penny coin, take a closer look. Examine the reverse. If you see the portcullis instead of the shield, you may just be holding one of the rarest coins in the world. And in that moment, what once seemed like an ordinary penny could become your golden ticket, your connection to a moment in time, your passport to numismatic immortality, and perhaps, the beginning of a life-changing story. As always, this is HD Ultra Rare Coins, where we dive deep into the stories behind the most fascinating coins the world has ever seen. And today, we uncovered how a single penny from 2008, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1-penny, rose from spare change to a $16 million phenomenon. Top 4. One such treasure, hidden in plain sight, is the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1-penny of the year 2005. At first glance, it's a coin that millions have held in their hands, perhaps spent without a second thought on a newspaper or a packet of crisps. Yet, for those in the know, the 2005 penny isn't just another coin. It's a whisper of history, a marker of tradition, and in some extraordinary cases, a rare artifact worth a jaw-dropping fortune. How can such a small, seemingly ordinary object command such attention? To understand, we must journey back in time, into the heart of Britain's numismatic legacy. Queen Elizabeth II's reign saw the birth of many coinage redesigns, updates, and innovations. The penny, perhaps the most symbolic of British coinage, was no exception. Its evolution tells a parallel story of the nation itself, from the grandeur of the empire to the digital dawn of a modern United Kingdom. The 2005 edition, in particular, sits at a fascinating crossroads. By the year 2005, Queen Elizabeth II had already been on the throne for over 5 decades. Her image, one of quiet strength and enduring dignity, had been a familiar presence on British coins since her coronation in 1953. And yet, each redesign of her portrait on coins marked not only her physical aging but the evolution of a monarch deeply intertwined with her people. The 2005 1-penny features the 4th definitive portrait of Her Majesty, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Unlike the earlier, more youthful images of the Queen, Rank Broadley's design was notable for its realism and honesty. It was not softened or romanticized. Instead, it presented the Queen with maturity, wisdom, and grace, an image of a leader who had weathered decades of change. The obverse of the coin proudly bears this portrait, with the surrounding inscription: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2005. These initials stand for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This age-old phrase links back to centuries of British monarchy, reaffirming the coin's symbolic weight beyond its monetary value. But it's the reverse of the coin that carries the iconic design that has graced pennies for decades. Designed by Christopher Ironside in 1971, this motif features the badge of the House of Plantagenet, a crown portcullis with chains. Originally used as the badge of Henry VII, the portcullis became closely associated with the Palace of Westminster, thus tying the coin firmly to the seat of British governance and heritage. What makes the 2005 penny particularly compelling is its place at the cusp of change. Just 3 years later, in 2008, the Royal Mint would introduce an entirely new design for the reverse side of the penny, a modern, stylized representation of the royal shield. This meant that the 2005 penny was one of the last to carry the traditional portcullis design, making it part of the end of a proud era. While millions of these coins were produced for circulation, it is a small subset, extremely limited in number, that has captivated collectors. Errors, anomalies, and ultra-rare strike variations are the beating heart of coin collecting. In the case of the 2005 1-penny, it is these very rare varieties that turn a modest coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Some of the most coveted 2005 pennies feature minting errors that slip through the cracks. Misalignments, off-center strikes, double strikes, and even rare planchet varieties have been discovered in minute quantities. And when it comes to coins, rarity is everything. A coin that is otherwise common can become legendary when a handful of error specimens exist. One particularly infamous example is a 2005 penny mistakenly struck using the wrong metal composition. While the standard penny for that year should be copper-plated steel, a small number were accidentally struck on bronze blanks left over from earlier years. These pennies have a distinct sound and weight, and under proper analysis, their metal composition tells the tale. In collector circles, such an error is pure gold, metaphorically speaking. Additionally, there have been confirmed examples of 2005 one pennies with rotated dies, where the obverse and reverse do not align properly. To the average spender, it might look quirky. To a seasoned collector, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Collectors across the globe have scoured their change jars, their old wallets, and coin collections passed down through generations, in search of these elusive 2005 variants. Some even attend international coin shows and auctions hoping to catch a glimpse of these rarities, let alone acquire one. And when they do surface, the bidding is nothing short of ferocious. But what drives someone to spend thousands, or even millions, on a single penny? The answer lies in a mix of history, rarity, condition, and emotional connection. Owning a rare coin like the 2005 one penny is not just about possession. It's about holding a piece of time, a sliver of royal legacy, a tangible link to the grandeur of British numismatics. For some, it's a nod to nostalgia. For others, it's an investment. And for the most passionate collectors, it's a lifelong dream realized. One collector, an elderly gentleman from Kent, reportedly discovered a 2005 era penny in a drawer while cleaning out his late father's possessions. Initially dismissed as unimportant, the coin was later authenticated by the Royal Mint as a misstruck piece on a bronze planchet. It was auctioned months later to a private collector in Hong Kong for an astonishing seven-figure sum. Stories like these fuel the mythos and allure of the 2005 penny. Beyond errors, the condition of the coin also plays a pivotal role in its valuation. Coins that have never entered circulation, known as proof or uncirculated coins, are preserved in their mint state with no wear or scratches. These are often sold in special collector sets, and when kept in pristine condition, they retain their luster and sharpness for decades. A flawless 2005 one penny in such a condition can easily command high prices. Combine that with a rare error or a unique minting feature, and you're looking at a numismatic gem of staggering worth. What also adds to the mystique is the speculation surrounding mintage numbers. While the Royal Mint released figures on standard coin production, the precise number of errors or off-metal strikes remains unknown. This ambiguity feeds the fire of speculation. Are there a dozen? 100? Just one? The less that's known, the higher the stakes become. As collectors continue their tireless search, the legend of the 2005 penny grows. Online forums buzz with theories, photos, and wild speculation. Some claim to have found one, others are still searching. Auction houses have started including them as headline items, drawing bidders from around the world. One such auction, held in Geneva, featured a pristine 2005 one penny with multiple confirmed anomalies. The bidding started modestly, but within moments it soared. American collectors, European investors, and Asian magnates all vied for ownership. The final gavel fell at a price that left the room stunned. $19 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, just 1 penny by denomination, had reached the incredible price of $19 million. Not for its face value, but for its historical rarity, immaculate condition, and the fiery demand it ignited among global collectors. This sale has cemented the 2005 one penny's place among the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. And it serves as a powerful reminder: never underestimate the power of a coin. What may seem like spare change could, under the right circumstances, be a life-changing discovery. So the next time you reach into your pocket, or tip over a forgotten jar of coins, take a closer look. That unassuming copper-colored penny just might be the missing piece in a multi-million-dollar puzzle. And who knows? You could be holding a piece of numismatic history in your hand, one with a tale richer than any treasure chest. Here on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we live for stories like these. Stories where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Where history breathes through metal. Where pennies transform into fortunes. And the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2005. It is one such legend, a coin that started as humble change and ascended to a breathtaking value of $19 million. Keep collecting. Keep searching. The next treasure might be closer than you think.